Hey guys, I'm RozaldVaneGAME, and welcome back to another episode of Eliza. So where we last left off was we finished up our first day at work with Eliza, which is the name of the game, but also the name of the company that the game is circling around. Last episode we did spend nearly an hour. Do apologize for that. That's because I probably got so invested in the scenery where I couldn't find a spot where it could actually stop for me to just not continue into a conversation and take a stop in the video. But yeah, otherwise we're gonna continue with this Eliza game, and hopefully we'll see what happens next, because I don't know how many chapters there are. But in the meantime, I want to mention that I finally beated the solitaire. To prove it to you, there's expert mode right there. Expert mode's activated. I don't know how else better there is to explain this, but yeah, so if you can see the win count, it's 1. So technically I actually finished it in expert mode once, and so that's pretty much the case of what I wanted to prove. So yeah, I spent literally 4 hours, I think. Yeah, somewhere around 4 hours with this game, just doing that. I had a lot of struggles with expert mode. I think it took me about 20 to 30 tries. I think it's really just a game of brute force, honestly. There's no strategy. Maybe, well, there is some strategy, but it's not heavy strategy, and it's it takes a bit of luck depending on what cards land on the specific spots. But otherwise, it's just, I beat it, got the achievement. I just wanted to say that and prove it to you guys, and that's it. Because I didn't want to spend too much time, as I said, 4 hours on video just doing that. So anyways, let's read mail first, and then I'll examine the surroundings of the location that we're in, the Korebe, the cafe. But yeah, in the last episode we did talk to an old friend, and the old friend did suggest that we talk to this dude, I think it was, or was it somebody else? But somebody else, an old coworker or an old boss, wanted the friend of ours, our old friend, to go off and work with the guy, but she didn't want that. She wanted us to go for no reason. And apparently this guy used to work for Eliza, or the parent company of Eliza. So that's where we're at here at the moment. Okay. There's a reason they're called patience games. The trick is to not get ahead of yourself. Sometimes what you seems like easy forward progress is actually something that's going to get you irrevocably stuck. Like life. I can see that in the freaking solitaire game, in this freaking phone game thing. Think carefully before each move, and you'll start winning games. I remember you had a good head for this kind of thing back in school, so I dare say you might just need to get into that mindset again. You can do it. M cubed, I think. Oh, because it has 3 M's. Meredith M. Mercer, dramaturge and game designer extraordinaire, Saitama, Japan. I'm guessing this is the name of an actual developer of the game, I guess, of this particular game. Interview. Hey, seems like my original message might have gotten lost in the shuffle. Believe me, I know how it is. So I'm looping back around on this. Any interest in speaking with me about the origins of parametric therapy and Eliza in particular? See below. Begin forwarded messages. Greetings. I'm trying to track down a certain Evelyn Ishino Aubrey. Oh, so it is. Is Evelyn a mix of white and Japanese, I guess? Because Aubrey is a white European name, and then Ishino is a Japanese name, so I'm guessing it took both the mother and father's name and just stuck it together. Who was one of the principal developers of Eliza system for Skanda. Oh, so our character was one of the main developers of Eliza, and we are offering ourselves as the Eliza character. Oh, this makes this game so interesting now, because it's like putting the developer in the mindset of the person working on another part of the company to sort of test run how they feel about their creation, in a sense. It's like saying a game developer who just made their game and then they became a QA tester several years later down the line for the same exact game. It's just like that. It just feels just like that. It's weird, but it's such an interesting concept. Is that you? If not, apologies and please ignore. I'm something of a cultural commentator who's looking to write about the early origins of parametric therapy and where it's gone from there. Does it deliver on its promise? What do the people who worked on it think of it now? Or on a more general level, how has introducing increasing levels of automation into human life affected us? There are some well-known names that seem to grab all the press and speaker slots when it comes to this subject, but I'm interested in speaking with people who might actually have a different perspective. Maybe a more skeptical or even subversive perspective. If you're willing to participate, just let me know, and we can get something up in person or online, whichever works best for you. It can be a great opportunity for you to get your side on the story out there. Peter Gerd, writer, agitator. Why the hell do you put agitator as your job next door to writer? Alright, so that's all the phone email we got. The barista here seems like a nice enough guy. He wrote Nora's name Lola, though. He must have misheard it. Sounds like a typical Starbucks meme, where they just write, like if you say John, they write Jon instead of John sometimes, or they just write like Joon, just to screw with us or something. I feel like that's how they are. I don't know. It's nice to know this is an option. The tea and the coffee at the counseling center didn't look so inspiring. Am I being a snob? Am I being a snob? Komorebe. I wonder what that means. I should try to study Japanese again. One more thing that fell away. Oh, she wanted to study Japanese. I mean, she might have just gotten interested and then it just fell apart because she had heritage and roots in Japan or Japanese people and stuff like that. So it's like she probably had something in mind, but then didn't fully commit to it. I mean, it is hard to do a different language in general, like starting and learning it. Like, especially as an adult, I would say it's a little bit harder. Unless you have the chops to alter your brain to just hey, let's understand this better. Just study and get better at it like crazy. I mean, I personally want to get better in Japanese and even Korean. I just wanted to do better language stuff, like Asian language stuff, so that there's more of that. Yeah, anyways, continue. What a day. Been a while since I've done that much in a single day. At least now I can relax. Excuse me. Ray. Hey, Evelyn, it's Ray from the office. Oh, God. Taking the work out to the freaking public space? How dare you? Just curious, what kind of cookies do you like? Cookies? Yeah. Oh. Oh, there's all these options. Oh, which cookie do I like? I am a cookie person, actually. Personally, I am. Oatmeal raisins are good. I know some people don't like raisins, so they just like the oatmeal part only. Chocolate chips, very standard. I've never tried Russian tea cakes. That's a first I've heard of it. Plain sugar cookies, not a fan. It's nothing fancy of it. Ginger snaps are great. I think ginger snaps are I really don't know what exactly goes into ginger snaps. I remember our school offered the cookies and I bought some and I tried it out and I was like, oh wow, this is interesting. I think it was cinnamon in it, but I might be wrong. Macadamia nuts and white chocolate. Also tried that before. It's a pretty good combo. Shortbread cookies, never tried. Digestive biscuits, I think that's a UK thing, I think. Macarons? I've never tried macaron before. Peanut butter cookies, I've tried. The type I like is kind of obscure. I love the options that the developers give in this particular dialogue option. I might go with the ginger snaps, but this is hard because this is I mean, I'm not eating them right now. It's just it's hard to choose because any of these cookies are really good. I'll take the oatmeal raisin. Screw it. The one that people may or may not like. Interesting. I bake cookies for the team now and then, and I try to mix it up so everyone gets their favorite at least once. Is that a lot of cookie? That's really nice of you. Oh, it's no big deal. The thing about baking is, once you start, it's pretty easy to just keep going. You have everything you have everything out, so you just might as well do multiple batches. And the cleanup takes more or less the same amount of time. I don't actually bake, personally. Yeah, I don't know much about baking. I'd say that much. It's fun. Oh, that's it? Okay, I was like confused. I was like, what happened? Baking, huh? Cooking in general is something I feel like I could try to get better at. I'd say I'm okay with cooking. Not for large amounts of people yet, which I need to practice, I guess. At some point. At some point. Oh, Nora. So, nice to see you today. Good seeing you too. We should do that more often. Hang out, you mean? I know I said I don't miss working at a big company, but I do miss our old crew sometimes. Yeah. ... I write software for myself now, so it's much better. Come to my show though. Come to my show though. You're coming, right? Please come. Please, please, please. Nora. What? It's a bad look to beg like that. Okay, I will go to your show. You're funny. You're funny. The last line is like the best line, I feel. It's like, you're funny. Because it's like disregarding all of her her efforts to try and get us to go to the show. It's just hilarious. Yeah, I mean, I plan on going to the show. I feel like that would work. Yes! Okay, cool. Okay, now I'm really exhausted. Why is even just texting with people just such an effort? To me personally, I don't think texting is that an effort, honestly. But reaching out, on the other hand, is an effort. Because you have to make sure that when you reach out to the person, it takes a bit more time. Because you want to make sure that you're not bothering them at the wrong time and stuff like that. It's really hard for me, personally. I should tidy up the shelves at some point. Some of these books will still spark joy, Some of these books still spark joys, don't they? I hope they do. Some of these clothes I've had since college. Wish I could reinvent myself like Nora. Not that I would know not that I would know how. Alright. Those have been sitting there like that for a long time. I meant to put them up. Not sure what I'm waiting for. I mean, considering how she's not putting the effort to organize things, it makes sense leaving that there's like a particular standard thing, I guess. I don't really feel like doing anything. What happened? I used to have so much energy. I'll stay up until 2 or 3 in the morning until writing code. Then I'd be up again at 8, ready to pick up right where I left off. I'm not sure who that person was. She doesn't recognize herself anymore. How sad. Alright, continuing on. I'll just get to bed now. Alrighty. Moving on to day 2, which I'm assuming is, chapter 2. I feel like each day is a chapter in itself, so it'll be fine. Oh, it's the convention that Nora wanted us to go to. One Mind 2.0, escalating the wellness revolution. No wonder Nora didn't want to come here. I'm not sure I could take something like this seriously myself. Maybe that's why Soren is successful and I'm not. Am I late? Looks like the talk is already happening. I didn't get to check my phone yet. Ugh, this place is packed. I'll just stand in the back.
So, to get back to my original point.
And here begins my phone. Checking mail first before I go into this weirdness of things. Excuse me, my nose is poking fun at me in the moment. I might have to take a nose break after reading. No, I'll take a nose break right now. So, not a physical nose breaking with a punch in the fist in the nose. No, not like that. Just like to blow my nose and like clear it up. I think it's because the weather's being funky this time around that my nose is kind of acting up. So I'll be right back very, very soon. So, all right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Man, my nose is like clogging up lately because of the weather, and I don't do commentary enough to keep my nose busy anymore. So it's like now it's doing this weirdness, I guess. But anyways, went to Magus Books today, and Shelly told me you don't work here anymore, or work there anymore. Made me sad. You were the best part of going to that store for me. I always appreciate your presence there. Best of luck in your new endeavors, wherever they may take you. Chris Manzoni, that's a name. Mary Aubrey, is this the mom? Or somebody else? Are you still mad at me? Oh, it is the mom. Nevertheless, I hope you are doing well, Mom. So the dad is Japanese and the mom is, I guess, like Caucasian. So that's pretty interesting. The Redmond Post. You know what's funny? I went to school in Redmond, so it's like went to college for Redmond. It's interesting to see that Redmond's being mentioned here. Eliza counseling services services to be introduced in Redmond middle and high schools. Redmond School District partners with SCANDA to detect and address mental health issues in students. By Jasmine Hurling. SCANDA and the Redmond School Districts are partnering to roll out Eliza, a mental health evaluation and counseling tool for all middle and high school students. Conversations with the virtual counselor will screen students for risk factors, identify the needs for interventions, and support positive mood levels. Other King County school districts, including Bellevue School District and Lake Washington School District, are following suit with their own rollout plans. Eliza is an AI-driven conversational tool to support mental health developed internally at SCANDA, while the Seattle-based company's counseling centers are well known for employing human proxies between the AI and the client. The school implementation will take the form of a web-based chat interface. These kids are more used to sharing information about themselves in text-based conversations than adults are, so that's what we zeroed in on as the best mode of interaction for this particular application, said Edwin Park, service director of the Eliza program of SCANDA, at SCANDA. Conversations with Eliza takes about 10 to 15 minutes each and will be required, but not limited to, one conversation every 2 weeks. Students exhibiting high risk factors will be referred to a suite of potential interventions, including connections with community success mentors, additional counseling, or psychiatric evaluation. Eliza's tracking capabilities will be able to provide a full picture of students' mental state over the school year, and eventually over the course of their lives. Sounds like they just want this AI to be the one thing that's in people's brain. It's kind of like equivalent to sticking a chip into the brain or something, I feel like. Says Roland Orwing, executive director of student services for the district. This, he explains, is an important factor in detecting potential problems in students who may otherwise seem normal on a day-to-day basis. The goal here is to find the kids that are most at risk and take proactive steps to get them the tools and support they need to grow into happy and productive members of society, said Orwing. This is a complex system or problem with an evolving solution set. Eliza is just one facet of what is a bigger issue involving not only the kids but their families, our teachers, and the wider community. The Redmond Post and Global Local Publishing, Inc., all reserved rights. All right, back to this stupid convention speaking thing.
The current state of the art is AI-driven counseling, typified by apps like Eliza. Let's talk about the model here for a second.
He looks a little haggard. I wonder if he's okay.
It all begins with data. You collect all the data you can. From base level metrics like heart rates, body temperature, blood pressure, to higher order metrics like hand movement, head movement, gaze aversion. If the client lets you, you'll want to pull from their digital life too, their message histories and email, their search histories, and online behavior.
Give me a quick second. I felt like let me double check. Okay, the music's still low, okay. I'm just making sure the music's low because I was starting to hear the music as I go, but that's probably because I turned the volume higher on my end.
It's all potentially valuable. Then you compare the client's responses to relevant data from thousands of other clients and build a model of the client's psychological state. This approach has worked well so far. Eliza is still the best and most advanced version, but that's just my personal opinion. For those of you who don't know, I was the team lead and chief psychologist for the Eliza project at Skanda for a number of years.
Taking credit for all of it, I see. I mean, it's true that some leaders in the tech world would want to be the face of the thing that they've made. Like, example, Facebook, we got Mark Zuckerberg, and then we got Amazon, and that's the face of that would be Jeff Bezos. We got like people who just want to be the face of the tech, and then some people just like they're just associated because they're the ones who put it forward, or the founders or something like that, like Bill Gates. Like, I don't think he cares about being the face of Microsoft. Like, he just made the company because he wanted to make sure that he made something that would be used for everybody and anybody in general. And I feel like in the sense of this, I think it's just this like centering in on this character. I feel like Soren is like, he's the narcissistic feeling, like, or not narcissistic, but like just like very self-centered like person. Like, he just wants to be the one who did it all, instead of like saying that there were several names under this that did the thing. But at the same time, it's true that Nora and Evelyn, since they both worked on this project, I believe, left the project. It makes sense that they just don't have a name for it anymore. Like, their names are not listed under the developers' credits for this anymore, because some of that work could disappear due to iterations, like heavy iterations. Anyways.
Now, even though this is a proven approach, there are two weaknesses I'm going to highlight. One is the data I was just talking about. You're completely dependent on that. Collect as much as you can, sure, but it's important to keep in mind that you can have all the data in the world and still not understand why things work the way they do. And that's important for us to know, because if we have something that works, but we're not sure why, then what do we actually understand about ourselves? The crucial step after data is the model. The data needs to be used to validate a model. If you can't make a model, you're finished. If that sounds like basic, obvious science to you, it is. But I was surprised to find out just how many people from the tech sector don't think this way.
I'm sorry, I lost track in what he was saying about why the tech sector doesn't, like, what kind of way does the tech sector think?
I suppose you don't need to understand why something works in order to make it into a product and sell it. Obviously, though, if you had mastery of the underlying details, you'd be able to adjust the process and potentially make it work even better.
Sorry, my mind is like half dead inside, and it's just like, I'm understanding some things that he's saying, and then some things are just like, woo, woo. I'm just like, what? The audience is getting impatient. Clearly, they're expecting something big. Oh, I see. So that's why I'm starting to, like, I feel like the way he speaks is almost reflective of what the audience is feeling, is that the audience was expecting an announcement of some kind of bigger product coming out of it, or something kind of crazy is coming up. But I think that's what's happening. It's just the way he's saying things, they just feel like he's just speaking out of his ass. I'm sorry, it just sounds like that.
One further note while I'm discussing modeling.
Nobody cares.
Many of the startups trying to address mental health right now are completely ignoring the insights provided by the field of traditional psychology. They do so at their own peril. Many of you know already, but as a brief personal aside, I was a professor of psychology before I joined the tech world.
This guy is literally... I don't know how to say it. What would be the word? He's literally like boasting about himself. It's literally just that. I just feel like this guy is just boasting his resume. Like it's like some kind of like the strongest point of who he is, and not that his product is stronger than his character, I guess.
I'm continually stunned at how little the tech heads know or even care about the hundreds of years of psychological research that has gone on in my field.
This guy, yeah, he is coming off as a dick at this point. He's becoming more and more insulting to the people who are working in the tech industry. It's like, you guys are tech people. You guys work for just product. You just want to think about the product. Just making the product and sell the product. That's all you guys are. Look at me. I have knowledge about psychology. I think about how you think, right? And so if you can't think like me, then why should you not be? Why would you be working in the tech industry? That's the kind of thing I feel like he's trying to say. It's just like, that's the feeling I'm getting out of this whole thing so far.
That's something I can talk about at length, perhaps another time. For now, I'll move on to the other weakness I mentioned. This is the real one, the big one. It's treatment.
Huh?
A system like Eliza can tell what's wrong with a client to a certain level of accuracy, but it doesn't quite know how to turn that into a comprehensive treatment plan.
Interesting.
It can suggest therapeutic programs and activities, and soon it might even issue its own prescriptions without having to go through a doctor or a psychiatrist. Well, as long as the FDA continues to look upon us favorably. But those are blunt instruments compared to what I'm going to talk about next.
Maybe this is it. Is he going to go where I think he is?
Many of you know there's a technology still in its infancy called direct stimulation.
Sounds like steroids or some kind of drug that just stimulates somebody.
For those of you who haven't heard of it, direct stimulation is a way of creating sensations within the brain with targeted electrical impulses.
Are you saying that you want to electrocute your patients? Excuse me, buddy? That's what I think it is. Oh, dude, I hope not. I hope it's not like put them in an electric chair kind of thing. It's bad already. Like, it's bad if you're trying to do that. If that's what I think he's trying to say. I'm not sure yet.
Imagine an augmented reality headset, but instead of working on your eyes, it stimulates the brain in such a way as to induce a specific dream.
Oh, okay. So it's not the electric chair idea. It's just the idea that, what was it? It's kind of like putting your brain into tech, basically. It's kind of like the... Oh, what good analogy or example is this? Man, I forget what it is. It's kind of like... Probably like Inception or something like that. It's kind of like that kind of thing where it's just like you just have like a back of your like a back of your head, and you have like a audio jack or something like that, and you just plug it in like that. That kind of feeling, I guess, is what he wants to go for. Though this is way too advanced, and also nobody would want this because of privacy problems, because they don't know what it can do in terms of getting into the brain, I think.
A spring meadow, for example. This sounds fantastical, I know, but progress on this technique has been occurring faster than you think. We're actually quite close to a workable demonstration model. How is that possible? Well, first of all, we only suggest an overall feeling. Your own brain does most of the work, just as it does in your dreams. It fills in all of the visual details using its own set of memories and expectations.
So it's basically using our own brains to create these imaginations, but not just like inserting information into it, I guess. Ah, so this is what everyone came to hear.
Induced dreams via direct stimulation can contain all the therapeutic content of VR therapy without the need to create realistic graphics or other content. Instead, it harnesses the brain's creative power to dream up the situation for itself. Combine that with the insights we gain from parametric therapy systems like Eliza, and you have a complete end-to-end, fully automated system. It should be clear now that this heralds a revolution in how we treat, how we think about mental health. And with mental health challenges on the rise across the globe, it couldn't come at a more crucial time. So, That's why today, right
Oh.
here, I'm announcing Aponia, a new company to make induced dreaming a reality and end human suffering as we know it.
So this guy was actually announcing stuff. Freaking
I
bastard.
should note that I remain on good terms with Skanda. In fact, they're a minority investor in this new venture.
Minority
But still,
investor.
I'm very much going my own way on this.
So this is the one thing that Nora was talking about, where he's starting his own company for whatever reason.
It's no secret that Reiner and I don't always agree. And that's why we mutually decided I should pursue this paradigm shift on my own. As for details on the venture itself, I don't have anything specific to announce at this time other than that the technology is real and working in prototype form already. But you can be sure to hear more from me on that soon. Thank you.
Whoa! Woo! Not anything that I care about because it's not really actually helpful. Woo! As Soren finishes up, people hold up their phones to take pictures and video. This feels more like a press conference than a talk.
Now, I can take a very limited number of audience questions.
Oh boy. The crowd starts to surge toward him. He's going to be mobbed. My plan to find him after the talk isn't going to work. I need to get out of here. Yeah, I would just go to work if it's not the weekend. Ugh. I don't know what I was thinking coming to this. Whatever my element is, this is not it. I should just get out of here before anybody recognizes me. Except, as I attempt to do that, I happen to spot another man I know. He emerges from an elevator in the lobby just as I walk by. I keep my head down, maybe he won't see me. Surely he's busy and distracted, right?
Well,
No.
look who's here. It's like I've seen a ghost.
No, he is not gonna ignore us. Alright, I'll leave this here for now, for the next episode. So thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next episode of Nobody Minds, and hope you guys have a great, amazing day, week, and night, or whenever watching this. I need to really find a good spot to stop usually, but I guess this could be okay, I guess, where we're gonna talk to this guy who I believe his name was Reiner, that just showed up for a second there. Yeah, otherwise, I would say that that talk in itself was kind of weird, honestly. It's just like, I don't know, at first it started off as like showing off himself like as a person and his knowledge, his like sort of knowledge, the betterment of his knowledge over the tech people. It was just like, why do you make it seem like you're like the best guy in the tech industry or something? But I see that it was to build up towards like the idea that he has a new product in hand and that this product would be very powerful for everybody to use. But at the same time, I think it's a bad idea because it could potentially melt somebody's brain. I mean, there's a number of things that I feel worried about. Privacy things where it could steal your brain's knowledge could happen. We don't know that. Like electrical sense, it could be sending electrical stuff and it could kill somebody too. That's another big problem for me. Or it could just melt your brain, which also kills you too. Like electrically frying your brain. It could also delete your emotions, and that's the worst part if that happens, because it shocks your brain to a point where I'm guessing the nerve would just die off or something, and you won't feel anything anymore, and that's not even that great. That's remotely terrible. Turning people into robots is the worst part of it. I don't know. There's a number of things that could go wrong for that kind of thing. If you're trying to send electrical surges into the person's brain to stimulate something or simulate some kind of dream or imagery or stuff like that. So it's just kind of really dumb. But anyways, we'll see what happens next in the next episode. We'll see who this person is fully, and we'll also see if we'll meet with Soren if that time comes in this particular chapter. But otherwise, that's pretty much it. So, Roz, out.